In this video, you're going to learn a strategy that you can use to manage your emotions, manage your composure in the moment following a mistake. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, this is the second video in the series on losing composure in sports. If you haven't watched the first video, I've linked it right here where I go into detail on the exact reason and the true cause of why you lose your composure. Now, how realistic do you think it is to not feel frustrated at all after a mistake or a bad call? How easy do you think it would be to feel happy following a mistake or a bad call? Well, to answer the first question, it's not very realistic at all. You're out there to play well, not to make any mistakes. When you do make a mistake, it's natural to feel a little frustrated at that moment. And then to answer the second question, it's absolutely not easy to jump to the opposite end of the spectrum and feel happy after a mistake or a bad call. So the goal isn't to feel absolutely no frustration. The goal is to learn how to recognize and manage the frustration that you do feel. Now, over time, this combined with reframing the expectations you have going into games, along with the way that you actually view mistakes, which is what we're going to talk about in the next two videos, you're going to be able to manage your frustrations, and your frustrations are going to reduce over time. But first, we want to focus on this short-term strategy to manage your loss of composure and manage your frustration in the moment. So as we go into this, remember, the goal isn't to feel no frustration at all. It's to learn how to respond to the frustration and the anger that you do feel in a better way. For example, in the previous video, I talked about a softball player who I've worked with who got very upset with herself while pitching if she walked a few batters or got some hits off of her. As we worked together on controlling her composure in these moments, I reinforced how natural feeling upset was. After all, she wasn't out there hoping to make mistakes. Her goal, just as your goal is, was to play her best. So instead of harping on something that wasn't realistic, which is to not get upset at all, we focused on her response to the frustration, trusting that the more attention she gave to her reaction and the better she managed the frustration that she felt, the less frustration she would naturally feel as time went on. The way this worked for her, just as it's worked for many other athletes and will also work for you, is creating an in-the-moment strategy for calming down and refocusing herself. It is your focus on the mistake, after all, that is causing your loss of composure. Because if you had short-term memory loss, for example, you'd quickly forget about the mistake and you wouldn't be so angry about it. It's hard to be frustrated over something you don't remember. So when you're focusing on the mistake, that's what's causing you to keep getting frustrated. So the first step is to create a strategy for calming yourself down in the moment. And a great tool for this is a thought-stopping phrase. Now, a thought-stopping phrase is a phrase that you repeat to yourself in the moment to stop unhelpful thoughts and refocus yourself on what's important. A key element of a thought-stopping phrase is recentering yourself in the present moment. Now, for this part, I recommend taking a few deep breaths. It's a very simple act, but one of the best things that you can do for yourself when you're upset and frustrated during a game. It's going to immediately work to calm yourself down and slow down your thinking. And the calmer you can make your mind, the easier it's going to be to let go of the mistake and refocus on what's next, whether that's the next play, pitch, or drive, for example. An example of a thought-stopping phrase is something as simple as, let it go, take a breath, focus on what's next. Now, there is an aspect of managing frustrations in the moment that's actually going to precede a thought-stopping phrase, and that's awareness. Because without the awareness that you're getting upset, a thought-stopping phrase or really any other strategy for that matter isn't going to do much good. Building this awareness is definitely going to take longer than simply creating a thought-stopping phrase. So you want to make sure you create the thought-stopping phrase first so you can begin trying and working on implementing it. But as you grow in your awareness, this tool, which is the thought-stopping phrase, is going to become more and more effective. So building awareness is all about attention. Awareness means recognizing and understanding. And when we relate it to getting frustrated and losing your composure, it involves realizing in the moment that you are upset. It's easy to look back over a game, and point out all the times that you lost your composure. But it's a lot more difficult to be aware in the moment that you're getting upset with yourself. Because when you lose your composure, your emotions are getting the best of you, right? And as your emotions take over, the thinking part of your brain is going to be blocked. What you need to work on is remaining consciously aware in those moments when you get upset and you lose your composure. And so an exercise that I've used to help with this, even in younger athletes who are trying to manage their frustration and their responses to mistakes, is keeping a journal for yourself. What you can do is keep a journal of all the times you lost your composure that day. No matter if it's with a practice or a game, this exercise is going to help you build your awareness. You can either write it out as a paragraph or simply make a table for yourself. But what you want to do is make sure that you explain the situation. So what led to you losing your composure, the main thing that you're upset about, and then how you reacted. And then for the final step, you can explain how you want to react next time. This will likely involve, using the thought-stopping phrase you created and calming yourself down and refocusing better on what's next and on what's important in that moment. By analyzing your practices and games with this exercise, your awareness is going to grow and you'll become more familiar with your emotions and your reactions to certain situations. This is also going to grow in your understanding of what leads to you getting upset in the first place. And all of this is going to increase your chances of recognizing in the moment that you're losing your composure. And it's that in the moment awareness that provides you with the opportunity to use your thought-stopping phrase and begin to calm yourself down, managing your emotions better when you get frustrated during a game. Now, in addition to this in-the-moment strategy, if you can also change your expectations leading into games, that's going to help you lower the frustration that you feel. So in this next video right here, I go into detail on how you can change your expectations going into games.